on the ground. Louise Wateridge, Senior Emergency Officer for UNRWA. Louise, thank you very much for being with us. Just to begin with, paint us a picture of what you and your colleagues are seeing on the ground.
I mean, the situation here in the Gaza Strip is as worse as it's ever been. We are seeing people fighting over pieces of bread. The price of a bag of flour is now well over $200 US dollars. It's absolutely desperate. I don't know really where to start and where to end, how to tell you how bad things are. People don't have shelter, they don't have enough food, they don't have access to clean water. The bombing and the strikes are just relentless. They're as relentless as they have been throughout this war. And it just feels absolutely hopeless. Every single day, if not every hour, things are getting worse here for people.
And Louise, amid all of that, I want to ask you about aid getting in, because on the 18th of November, there was a report from your agency about a convoy of around 100 UN aid lorries being looted. And at the time, your Commissioner General, Philippe Lazzarini, said that this was indicative of a total breakdown of civil order.
We have seen a breakdown of civil order happen around the time the Rafah crossing was cut off. So this was in May this year. Before this Rafah incursion, we did have more aid flowing through more border crossings. And since then, the situation has become more desperate. You know, people are more hungry. There is less food available. There are less humanitarian supplies available. And this desperation, combined with total lack of law and order, has led us to the situation that we're in today. And getting aid in at the moment some days it almost feels impossible. You are aware of this incident that we've had this week. This isn't the first incident like this, and we've had multiple incidences like this over the last few weeks. We desperately need a change in the safety and the facilitation of the aid on the ground, because humanitarian workers are in danger because of this, and people are not receiving the aid that they need.
And why is that? Can you tell us more about that? What is stopping that aid from getting in?
There is, simply put, there is no safe facilitation of the aid. The aid is at the borders. We need the aid to get in, but there hasn't been enough aid for the last 13 months. On average, it should be around 500 trucks a day, 250 humanitarian and 250 commercial at least coming in. We've never seen anything like these numbers. So when people don't have enough things, and when there is war breaking out, desperation is just absolutely everywhere. And we're in a situation now where people are fighting over everything, and people need everything. There's no police on the ground. There is no safe facilitation of the aid. So our call this week and for the last few months have been for the parties of the conflict to provide that, so that we can safely provide aid to people who need it most.
So let's talk more about the consequences of all of this then when it comes to food supplies, just one aspect, but there have been throughout this conflict repeated warnings about a looming famine. How close is that now?
We have never been far away from a looming famine. It feels like every day things are being strangled here, not just with food, but with water, with fuel. Some days this humanitarian response has run so low on fuel that nobody is able to move, and the last drops are being used to keep babies alive on incubators in hospitals. That's how much the response is strangled. When it comes to food, like I said, there's no flour. There's no flour available here. People are fighting over cans, tin cans of supplies. It is because of the lack of supplies that causes this desperation. And when you talk about famine looming, we now have a complete area in the north of Gaza that has been besieged for over 40 days. No humanitarian supplies, no humanitarian access. It is just impossible for people to survive in these conditions. And the bombs continue, and the strikes continue, and the displacement continues, and the disease keeps spreading. It does not stop.
Louise, I did just want to ask you, we have also seen this week arrest warrants issued against senior Israeli politicians, as well as a leader of Hamas. What does your agency make of that? Does it think that it has the power to change anything?
We just reiterate our call, which is that we need more humanitarian aid in, and we need a ceasefire. It is up to the legal system to look into, the ICC will be investigating these very serious allegations of war crimes. But what we see here every day, we're seeing schools attacked, hospitals attacked. It is beyond anything ever experienced. There's really no words to say anymore. Children under the rubble, humanitarians denied access to support anyone around us. It is absolutely unbearable, and it has to have a ceasefire now. That is the only way that things are going to improve.